The 30-year closed the week at 5.28, a level it had not seen since 2007. Walmart lost 9% and $80 billion in a morning, and the gold call we made on Sunday is $300 the wrong way. Good morning. It's Saturday, August 22nd. I'm Nick Vertucci with Ashley Reyes and Marcus Brooks. Grab your coffee. This is the weekend edition, the week graded. No futures check. Know what to watch this morning. 4 threads define the 5 days that snapped a 3-week winning streak. The long end took the microphone. The consumer sorted instead of collapsing. Chips paid the duration bill, and gold and Bitcoin priced the cost of capital argument that a 15-handle VIX never admitted.
I already know which side of that sentence I'm sitting on.
You might be surprised.
I will not be surprised.
Scoreboard first. This is the center of the show, not the appetizer. We walked into Monday with Ashley at 12-12, a 5-game skid she inherited and then fed, and Marcus at 13-11. The week already scored a chunk of this. Home Depot. Ashley got the large project adjectives and missed the tape. Loss. Marcus got the hold on the guide. Win. Target. She wanted comps under 1. They printed 3.8 with traffic up 3.6. Loss. He wanted 1.3 or a raise. Win. Wednesday's levels. Graded Friday morning. Ashley. 10-year back above 475 by Thursday's bell.
4.69. I had it at lunch. I did not have it at 4.
Loss. Marcus. 7,700 through Thursday.
7,641. I can still do the arithmetic.
Loss. Then the extra. Walmart comps at 4, or a full year sales raise. Comps were 2.6. They did raise the year. Letter of the call, we gave you the point Friday morning. That's the card walking into Friday's close. Ashley 13-15, streak -3, Marcus 16-12, +1. Now we grade what Friday actually did.
This is the part I didn't sleep on.
Your extra from Thursday. Claims at 210 or under. 30-year closes Friday above 525. Claims printed 206,000. 30-year settled 5.28. That's a win. 14-15. Streak flips to +1. You named a Treasury operation that does not start until September 9th, and you said it should not be holding the long end on August 21st. It didn't.
I'll take the win. I also know what you're about to do to me.
I am. Same breath. Friday morning you doubled down. 10-year closes above 475. White Sharks has Friday at 4.74, up 5 from Thursday's 4.69, not 475. That's a loss. 14-16 -1. A basis point. I know. It's also the number you named, twice, in 2 days, and missed twice.
I got the direction and I missed the level, again. I was greedy about a number. Besant spent 2 days defending. I'll own the inch.
The inch is the job.
Don't coach me on an inch. You just lost 7,700 by 59 points.
He's not off the hook. Marcus, Friday. BJ's comps excluding fuel at or above 4, or a ticket no worse than -2.5, and if they clear it, 7,640 holds.
I remember the sentence.
Merchandise comps, excluding gasoline, 3.1. That's not 4. Trading keys recap of the call, traffic and ticket contributing roughly equally. Ticket is positive, about 1.5, not -2.5. S&P closed 7,674. The OR cleared. The index held. Win 17-12. Streak of +2.
I'll take it. I asked for a warehouse that wasn't Bentonville. I got one.
You asked for 4s. You got 3s.
I asked for 4s, or a ticket that wasn't worse than Sam's. Ticket showed up. That's the part you can score.
He wrote the OR on purpose, and the OR paid. Last 2, the Sunday week aheads. Ashley, gold under 43.50 if the minutes were a real fight.
They were a fight. Many participants said tightening would likely be necessary if inflation didn't decline. Several wanted a hike in July. I got the if.
Gold futures settled $4,674.80, a 3-month high. A third weekly gain, more than $300 the wrong way. Loss, 14-17, streak of -2.
There is no footnote on that one. I priced a hawkish transcript as a gold dump, and the market priced 40 trillion of debt, a 1% drop in the dollar, and a strait that is still half closed. I got the Fed right and the metal wrong. That's on me.
Marcus, Sunday. Walmart's guidance comes in clean, no trade down language, another raise, and the Russell keeps making records. You also said if Walmart hedges at all, Ashley wins this one going away.
They raised. They also used the word trade-offs. Russell closed 3017, down 1.6% on the week. Last Friday's record is still 56 points overhead. That's a loss. I'll take it.
17 and 13. Streak of -1. You asked for clean. You got a raise with an adjective. Walking out numbers, said as words because they bite. Ashley is 14 and 17, 2 games under, riding a 2-day skid. Marcus is 17 and 13, 4 games up on her, and he just snapped a 2-game streak on a Sunday call he wrote himself. Sarah stays 0 and 1. Dave stays 0 and 2. We'll crown after the tape. Duration. Give me the week in the long bond, not the press conference.
Tuesday, the 30-year tagged 5.33, highest since 2007. Wednesday, Scott Bessent said they'll at least double long maturity buybacks. $2 billion becomes $4 billion. September 9th through November 4th. 10-year dropped to 4.65. One session. Thursday, FX Street. So much for the Bessent bounce. Friday, it finished the job. 4.74 and 5.28. The bandage lasted a day. I cannot believe I get paid to watch a Treasury secretary try to talk a 19-year high off the screen and lose in public. It's incredible. It's also the thing that kept me up.
Slow down. 5.33 is still Tuesday's print. 5.28 is 5 basis points below it. That's a failed high with a retrace, not a new regime. Bookvar had it right Wednesday. Maturity shuffle, not QE. The shuffle still bid duration for a session. Thursday and Friday took the gift back. That is not the same sentence as the long end is going to 550.
See? That's where I disagree. You keep treating a 5 basis point giveback as the climax, and I'm looking at a 10-year that spent the week going from 468 to 474, while the S&P lost 1.4 and chips lost 5. That's the collision I wanted. And it
showed up as Walmart, $80 billion. Don't dress a Staples gap as a duration crash.
Translate the buyback. One sentence.
The government said it will buy more of its own long-term debt this fall, so those bonds got more expensive for one day, yields fell, and then the people who actually have to own the other. 39 trillion plus decided $4 billion per operation is not a policy.
Marcus, Steelman her case. What's the version where this week was the bond market, not Bentonville?
Fine. The 10-year pushed through the mid-470s. Semiconductors are duration assets because their cash flows sit years out, and their customers finance the build with debt. And when the long end wouldn't stay down, chips became the valve. Nvidia finished 1472, down about 1% into Wednesday's report. The PHLX semiconductor index ate about 5% on the week. That's a cost of capital week. I don't buy it as the whole story, but that's the version.
I'll take the steel man.
Don't get used to it.
I've had 2 losses this morning. Let me have the sentence.
Devil's advocate, Ashley, because I'm not letting you have the regime. Friday's flash, PMI, S&P Global, composite 56.0 from 54.5, fastest in 52 months. Services 56.8, a 20-month high. Chris Williamson at S&P Global, US. Business is booming. Third quarter annualized growth approaching 3%. Price pressures cooled. If the economy is accelerating, why is 474 a crisis instead of a number an expanding economy can absorb?
Because the same print said, input costs stayed elevated thanks to energy. Supply times lengthened to one of the greatest extents in 4 years, and manufacturing output slowed to a 13-month low. That's not Goldilocks. That's services running hot on a household that's already hunting at Ross, while the factory side is getting gummed up by a straight. I love a 56 p.m. I also think it's the number that keeps a hawkish committee in the game, not the number that lets the long end go back to sleep.
You asked for prices. They cooled. That's the line I said I'd respect on Friday, and it printed. Activity firm. Prices contained. Employment up at the fastest pace since the start of last year. That's not a bond market emergency. That's an economy that can live with 470.
474 and a 30-year at 528. What does that PM? I'd do to your November call if oil is still in the mid-80s.
It makes me less interested in using Walmart's ticket as a macro. I'd rather own the thing that's booking 3% growth than the thing that's discounting a grocery multiple. Different patience. Same week.
Minutes, quickly. 9 to 3 to hold at 350 to 375, 3 dissenters for a hike. The write-up went further. Many participants said tightening would likely be necessary if inflation did not decline. Chair Warsh has dropped traditional forward guidance. The minutes landed Wednesday into Bessent's bid, The 10-year still fell that afternoon, then it rose for 2 days.
That's the tell. The Fed said we may have to tighten, Treasury said we'll buy the bonds anyway, and by Friday the tape had voted that the Fed's adjectives were the ones that matched the long end. Those two things cannot both be the policy of the United States, and I am so here for watching which one breaks first.
They can both be true for a Thursday in August. Minutes are a 3-week-old transcript. We've had a 56 PMI, a 47 Philly, claims at 206, and a consumer that is still walking into clubs. I ranked cash over a transcript all week. I got Target right, I got BJ's ticket right, and I got 7,700 wrong. That's the week. It's not a regime until the 10-year holds through 480 on a quiet day, not on a Walmart day.
We're not settling it this morning. Here's the split, and it stays open. Ashley thinks this was the bond market taking the microphone. 474, 528. Chips as the valve. Besant's $4 billion as a one-day squeeze. Marcus thinks 5.33 was the selling climax. Walmart did the index damage. And a 56 p.m. ICE says the economy can live here. Watch the 10-year against 470. If it holds through 475 on a session that is not a grocery crash, Ashley has the better read of what this week was. If it slips back into the mid-460s and chips stop making lower lows before Nvidia, Marcus does. I don't want it's mixed on a Saturday.
Wouldn't.
Mixed is still a cop-out.
Consumer. Friday morning I told you I did not want a single the consumer sentence, and then the week handed you 5 different ones. Start with the ugly one.
Walmart. 2.6 U.S. comps, excluding fuel, slowest in 6 years. Street wanted about 3.7. Ticket up 1.1 against 3.1 a year earlier. They beat, they raised, and the stock dropped 9.2% to about $103.60. $80 billion. Worst session in 4 years. $2.9 billion in tariff refunds they're going to spend on price in the third quarter. The tape heard, don't pay a growth multiple for a one-time check. I cannot believe the biggest retailer in America used the word trade-offs on a raise and still did that much damage. It's terrible. It's also the cleanest real income print of the week.
Slow down. Transactions still up 1.5. Sam's Club comps 4.4 on transactions up 7 and a ticket down 2.5. The box slowed. The network didn't. I called a raise. I got a raise. I also got a multiple that did 9% of work the options market had priced at 5. That's a re-rate, not a recession.
Then Ross, after the bell. Thursday. 10% comps on traffic. Raised the year. Closed Friday at 239, up 4.4. That is not one consumer. That is a shopper leaving the mass box and walking into off-price. Hunting is what you do when the gas bill is first on the list.
Format is information. You keep trying to turn a format win into a macro loss. Ross is 10. BJ's membership at a record 8.5 million. Fee income up 9.9. Digital comps plus 30. 18th straight quarter of traffic growth. That's a household substituting, which is the sentence I used on Home Depot Monday, and I'm going to keep using it until the warehouse names actually
break. Wait, back up. BJ's merch comps were 3.1. That's not Sam's 4.4, and it's not Ross's 10. Management held the 2 to 3% full-year merch band after printing the high end of it. That's an implicit second-half slowdown. Trading Key flagged the K-shaped consumer. Most of the growth still from higher-income members. You just scored a ticket that was positive, and you're about to call that the all-clear.
I didn't call an all-clear. I called a warehouse that wasn't Bentonville. 3.1 sits between Walmart's 2.6 and Sam's 4.4. Ticket not down. Traffic still there. Costco caught a bid near 948. Walmart sat on the gap Friday near 103.50. That's a split by format. I will not mash it into the consumer is fine or the consumer is cracking. The tape ran 2 stories. You want one.
Give me a level, not a vibe. Does 104 on Walmart hold as the new shelf? Or does this fill?
104 is the shelf until the ticket turns. If this fills toward 110, Marcus gets the overreaction argument. If it sits, the multiple re-rated the mass box. What does a 1.1 ticket plus a 3.1 club merch print do to your November consumer call?
It makes me picky, not small. I wanted 3 clean names. I got Target traffic, a Walmart raise with an adjective, and a BJ's that wasn't a ticket down warehouse. That's 2.5. It's not a stretch shopper hiding at home. People walked in. They bought a different basket.
Hold that. I told you, Friday morning the tiebreak was BJ's ticket. If it looked like Sam's, down with traffic up, Marcus had the better read. If it looked like Walmart's box, Ashley did. Imprinted in the hole. Ticket positive, merch 3.1. Not Sam's, not Bentonville. So I'm not giving either of you the consumer for the week. Ashley still thinks 2.6 and a 1.1 ticket with WTI near 87 is a real income crack. Marcus still thinks Ross, Sam's, and a positive BJ's ticket are substitution. The week confirmed both halves and broke the idea that there is one shopper. That's the grade.
I'll take both halves. I will not take. Then it doesn't matter.
Didn't say it doesn't matter. Said it isn't one number.
Those are not the same thing.
I know. That's why I said it that way.
Human beat, because we have been a bond desk and a grocery desk for 20 minutes, and I need a breath. Friday, I told you I was going to think about Walmart every time I walked past a gas pump this weekend. I did, this morning. The price on the corner was still loud enough that I did the mental math before I got to the coffee.
I did one better. I actually went to a club, not for the show, for paper towels. The parking lot was not a recession parking lot.
Paper towels. That's the high conviction tell.
Don't you dare. The lot was full. The gas line was longer than the front door, and that's the whole week in a parking lot.
The lot is a line item. The show is still the multiple.
You are exhausting.
It's a gift.
Coffee is still a legitimate strategy. Back to it. Chips. They were the valve. I will not let this table turn a 5% semiconductor week into a footnote under Walmart. Marcus, what actually broke?
Duration, not a chip cycle print. When the 10-year pushed through the mid-470s, the names whose cash flows sit years out and whose customers borrow to build were the ones that paid. Nvidia closed 214.72, down 98 hundredths on Friday, heading into Wednesday's report. Street near $92 billion of revenue, about $2.09 in EPS, call it 97% growth. Marvel was Friday's worst S&P name, down 5.57. The group was already making lower lows before Walmart opened its mouth.
Reuters, citing Bloomberg, had Broadcom seeking more than $60 billion in a new AI debt deal. $60 billion! Against Besant's 4. A chip company is going to the window for 15 times the operation that was supposed to cap the long end. I love the size of it. I also think it's why the 30-year does not care what he said on television.
Or it's why I'd still rather own the equipment that's booking. Deere went the other way. Thursday, up about 7, on infrastructure and data centers. The crowded names can still be positioning. That diagnosis didn't die because the SOX had a 5% week.
It also didn't get a confirmation. A 5% group drawdown with the 10-year at 474 is the confirmation I wanted, and you're treating it as noise so you can keep the November multiple.
I'm treating it as a discount rate mark, not a demand mark. Those have not been the same trade for 2 weeks. What does 214 on Nvidia do to your hike conversation if they actually print the 92?
It makes the collision louder. A doubling of revenue funded with $60 billion debt deals into a chair who has spent the summer stripping forward guidance into a 30-year at 528. That's not a beat and raise week. That's a cost of capital week that happens to have a print in it.
We're not previewing Nvidia on a Saturday. We're grading what the week did to the trade. What confirmed, the group is a duration asset, and the 10-year can take 5% out of it without a single chip cycle miss. What broke? The idea that easy financial conditions for AI capex were a given. They're not. The VIX eased to 15.15 on Friday. Equity implied vol never admitted the stress that duration was pricing. That's the picture.
15 next to 474, $87 oil, and gold at a 3-month high. That's the split screen of the whole week. Equities priced earnings. The other 3 priced the cost of capital. I am so here for that split.
Or it's the thing that fades if Nvidia's commentary on financing is boring. Boring is still allowed.
Boring is a wish.
Most of my better weeks have been wishes that cleared.
Oil, gold, Bitcoin. File it, then rank it.
The 60-day ceasefire expired Monday. A tanker took a hit inside the strait on Tuesday. Sarah had that one on his table. Brick closed in the hole around 91. We didn't score her call, and I'm still mad about the hole. Trump's language. Thursday was economic warfare. Phrase of the night was economic D-Day. WT. I closed Friday, 86.66, up about 5% on the week. Brent near 93.86, up about 6. The barrel didn't explode. It also didn't leave. And that's the tax sitting under Walmart's ticket.
File it. Rank it. The week was duration, then the consumer, then oil. That's still the ranking until Brent pushes through 95 with volume. Overnight fade into Friday was the corridor, not the capital letters in the
Post. Capital letters move prices when gasoline is the named culprit in a 6-year low Walmart ticket. Those two things shared a week. If you rank oil third, you're ranking the mechanism that beat every rate call last Saturday as a sideshow. This Saturday.
Last Saturday, oil beat the data. This Saturday, the data included a 56 PMI and a 9% staples gap. Ranking is not disrespect. Ranking is the job.
You're ranking a warehouse club over a 19-year high in the
Long bond. I ranked cash. Same ranking all week. It paid until it didn't. Then it paid again on BJ's.
Gold and Bitcoin, because they did the funniest thing they could to a down week in stocks. Gold futures, 4,674.80, up 2.26% Friday, 3-month high, third weekly gain. Dollar index 98.83, headed for a weekly loss near 1%. Bitcoin about 77,300, up 5.9 on Friday, on track for roughly 20% on the week. Best week since 2023. Robinhood was Friday's best S&P name, up 13.7. The S&P lost 1.4%. The assets that are supposed to care about the dollar and the debt did the opposite of the index.
That's the 40 trillion card, and it's why my gold call is the miss of the week, which I know you're about to say out loud. Debt crossed the round number, Besant said. There is nothing magic about it, and gold and Bitcoin hurt fiscal, not the minutes. I priced a hawkish Fed as a metal dump. The metal priced the buyer of last resort trying to cap his own long end. I missed it.
I'll give you that sentence. I won't give you 77,000 Bitcoin as a crash warning. Weaker dollar, a White House push on the Clarity Act, crypto-adjacent names leading Friday's bounce. That's a bid. It can be a bid and the S&P can still be heavy. What does 4,675 gold do to the high conversation if it doesn't dump into Jackson Hole?
It keeps the fiscal channel open, which is the channel that beat me. What does 20% Bitcoin do to your November multiple if the stocks just lost 5?
It makes me less interested in using the index as a mood ring. I'd rather own the thing that's discounting the debt than the thing that's discounting Walmart's ticket. I said that Friday. I'm saying it again because the week agreed with it and the scoreboard still made me eat the Russell.
Let's crown the week. Call of the week, and I'm not giving it to the OR, Marcus, even though the OR paid. Ashley, the 30-year back above 525.
I'll take it, I think.
You didn't bet that yields would wiggle. You bet on a specific mechanism. A Treasury operation that starts September 9th should not be holding the long end on August 21st. Claims still tight at 206, and then the 30-year went from 524 on Thursday to 528 on Friday. That's the week's organizing fact, with a number on it.
That's the part I'll actually keep. Anyone can fade a buyback headline. The bet was that $4 billion is a bandage, and the bandage came off in public on the day at 56 p.m. I told you the economy didn't need the gift.
I'll second it. I lost 7,700 treating Wednesday as a climax. She treated Wednesday as a squeeze. The squeeze faded. That's the better read of the long end, even if I still think Walmart did more index damage than Besant did.
Write that down. He seconded me.
Don't frame it.
Miss of the week. And Ashley, you already wrote the sentence. Gold under 43.50. The if was hawkish minutes. The if printed. The metal went to 4,675. $300. A 3-month high. Same lesson as last Saturday's 10-year miss, wearing yellow. The transcript did what the call needed, and an outside bid from debt, the dollar, and a straight did the opposite.
I'll own it without the inheritance speech this time. Last week I took Eleanor's 10-year. This one was mine. I priced the Fed. I did not price the fiscal bid that the same Treasury Secretary was advertising while he tried to cap the long end. That's a miss that taught me something. I'd still rather have the lesson than a quiet week.
Cold comfort. I'll allow it's the right lesson.
Honorable mention because I said I'd needle it. 475, twice, missed by a basis point both days. Direction right, level wrong. That's not the miss of the week. That's the cruelest inch of the week.
I heard you. I'm not reopening the call.
Here's the week in one breath. A 3-week winning streak ended without a crash. The S&P closed 7,674, down 1.4%. NASDAQ down 2.1%. The 10-year finished 4.74, the 30-year 5.28. Besant doubled the buybacks, got one session, and gave it back. Flash PM, I-56, prices cooled, energy still in the input bill. Walmart beat, raised, and dropped 9%. Ross 10% on traffic. BJ's merged 3.1 ticket positive. Socks about -5. Gold 4,675. Bitcoin 77,000, up about 20%. VIX 15. The split on this table is still bandage versus climax on the long end, crack versus substitution on the household, and it does not close because a Saturday needs a bow. Ashley is 14 and 17. Call of the week on the 30-year. Miss of the week on gold. Marcus is 17 and 13. 4 up on her, and the OR on BJ's paid. If the show helps, follow Nova Ventures Daily wherever you get your podcasts, and catch our daily charts and reels at NovaVentures_US on Instagram. That's your Saturday wrap. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow for the weekend.